Okay, so let's see what we've got. Everything went through the cleaner, and it should all be nice and clean. But let's look and see, especially like how this lower end came out. It certainly looks a lot better. All that gruck and crap is gone. This is how I send things through the cleaner. This is pretty typical for how this is done, which is to put the balance back onto the main plate, and then it gets run through. And the way that the ultrasonic works is it can get that nice and decently clean. I will do a rinse after this to sort of, and I did one previously, but I'll do that again just to make sure that we're where we need to be. Yeah, that lower jewel looks fine. Let me get. I'm gonna look at it very closely with this, so you're gonna see me go away for a second. Hang on just 1 second. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, all the jewels are good. They're clean. There's no more of that crap on there. This was like, again, it was this lower end of the escape wheel jewel right here, and had this like gluey, sticky shellac stuff. So that is very good. So that is fine, and we'll put that right there. One of the things I did is you will remember that the original handset on this watch, the lume was badly damaged, and it looked like there was corrosion on the hands. Now, if I can save the original handset, I'll do it. The reason being, I like watches that are original. Also, 7002 hand lume has this sort of green look to it, and so what I wanted to do was to clean it up, and maybe instead of hitting for that green look, I wanted to actually replicate the lume color here. But first I had to see how the hands turned out, and actually it turns out, going through the process that I have for cleaning these hands, they actually came out pretty well, all things considered. The metal looks quite decent. See, I just dropped it. So I'm very happy about that. So because I go through a multi-stage process of looking at the hands. Would you focus? Oh, it's not focusing for me. I go through the multi-stage process of looking at the hands and cleaning it using chemicals rather than like physical force or abrasion. The reason that I wanted to try to, oops, damn it, save this handset is that 7002 hands are pretty specific. 6309, the plane of the hand, there's a bunch of different ones. If it's a 7548 dive watch, the hands are perfectly flat with square edges. If it's a 6309, the hands actually have a bevel like a chamfer, where it's like the plane of the hand actually slopes down to the level. But 7002 hands, it's the other way, is the metal is angled up like this. And so they're very specific for the 7002s. So if I could clean up this handset and then use it, well, gosh, I'd do that. So what I'm actually going to do with these hands, because I thought they were all nasty and gnarly and scabbed up, but it was actually just residue and junk on the surface, and the metal actually was pretty decent. This this minute hand's a little brassed up right there, just on the inside edges. I mean, I have new old stock sets of 7002 hands. But they tend to be, again, have this greenish lume, which I think would look a little funky. So the original lume on these was actually tan, and it matched the pip here. So I really want to match this. So I'm going to Vintalume these hands to try to match the color of this original lume right here. Because as I said, the original lume on these hands, like when I took the hands off and flipped them over, I could see the color of the lume, and it was this color. So we're going to do that. That's I think, a good plan. I'm just looking at all the baskets, seeing what we got. Everything's nice and clean. Got my jewels and all my things in there. Okay, that's great. Let's see. I set these up in baskets to do it in a specific order. Yeah, I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to, again, I haven't seen any physical problems. We're not really going to know what we're going to find until I actually fire the movement up. But I'm reasonably confident that everything will be as we need it to be, which is really good. And I wanted to now actually, because you only saw the case when it was dirty, I thought I'd grab the case so you could see it. So here's the case after getting all nice and cleaned up. Isn't it pretty? Isn't it pretty? And this is one of the things, again, with this case that impressed me was it looked like, there were things that I always look like. It looked like the case edges were nice. It looked like the brushing was clean, that this bevel here was intact. It didn't look like it'd been banged up, and in fact it hadn't. The crown tube threads here, case tube threads, are all nice and clean. It's got a couple dinks on it, but nothing serious. The sealing faces are all good. They're all solid and clean. And if we look inside the case back, we see the same thing. Nice and clean, absolutely no damage, no pitting whatsoever. So this watch, when it's all back together, is gonna look just great. And I'm pretty excited about that. This is gonna be lots of fun. Hang on just one second, I'm trying to grab the dial. Don't mind me. There we go. So here's that beautiful, beautiful dial. That beautiful tan lume and the silver printing underneath it. See how neat that looks? A little bit of an orange on the resist text right there, and the nice silver outline. And you can see that the lume is a little puffy. Instead of being like the other dials, actually I could probably get one. I'm gonna put that right here. You just hang on for 1 second. I'm gonna get another 7002 dial. Maybe I'll just do this instead. Let's get that out here. There we go. That's the stuff. Okay. So this, actually that's a little brown, isn't it? That's like a grayish brown. This is a transitional. This is a 7002 7039. And you can see the lume here has a little bit of that green, but not a whole lot. And you can see the color from that to that matches. So I'm really going to be shooting for a little more tan than this, but not like sort of a viridian. So this is actually slightly brownish, not gray. It's interesting. Let me dig up another dial. Hang up just 1 second. Okay. Pulling out a spare parts box here. Let's see what I can find. Sorry, I should have prepped and done this before the fact, but you know, what are you going to do? Look in here, see what I can find. Finding a dial. Ooh, look at that. Huh, missing its feet. Missing a feet. Oh, and this one came out of a rusty watch. But there's another tan lume dial. Look at that. Isn't that neat? 6309, 6309, 7S26. It's sort of a green, again, it's another one, look. Sort of a greenish white, slightly tan. A lot of these came from lots from Ramon, so I don't, these, you can't really find material like this so much anymore, but, you know, here it is. Oh, wow, that one's all kinds of funky. Oh, we're not going to look at that. Don't need to look at that. You know, I don't think I have one here. I don't think I would have to dig around and see if I've got one. Well, I guess this is the best representation we're going to get. You just see sort of the flatness of it. Flat and sort of gray. But it should be like a silvery gray more so. That's more typical for these. So we shall see. But anyway, I'm very happy with this dial because unlike the other two dials that I've got here, this one, that's not bad. It's got sort of a mix between green and brown. This is an original dial, but it's got some patina on the lume. But the resist text is a nice orange. But then this one, this is a pretty dial, again, with sort of the reddish, tannish lume. But unfortunately, both dial feeders snapped off. So this is kind of the best of both worlds. We get that all cleaned up, and I think it'll look great. Okay, so we're gonna start thinking about putting this thing back together, and we'll go from there, and let's see what the numbers tell us on the other side. Okay, that's it. All right, well, thanks folks for watching, and the next part of this video will be all about let's putting this thing together. In the meantime, I am going to go and I'll relume this handset because I have to be right on top of it in order to get that corrected. We'll see how that goes. Okay, thank you.